Hey everyone, welcome to another episode of Joy of Puzzles. I have for you today a puzzle titled I Had One of Those. It was published in 2020 by White Mountain Puzzles. White Mountain Puzzles was established in 1978 and they were originally a poster manufacturer. They're located in a rural community in New Hampshire, somewhere near Mount Washington, not far from there. And the original founders of the company are still actually involved. They were lucky enough to pass it along to their children and still seem to be participating in the day-to-day of the company. It's a less and less common thing in the world of mass manufacturing and production. The artist for this particular collage is Charlie Gerard. Now, I wasn't able to find a website for him, for his personal information and what kind of work he's done, but I did find him on LinkedIn, and for those who don't know, LinkedIn is like Facebook for the business world. So I'll toss that link up there as well. Maybe we all can become friends. This is a 1,000-piece puzzle, and the build time was 2.5 hours, but that's with 3 people. Strategy, let's talk about that. Well, traditional puzzle, so we start with the border, and then we kind of pick a color, right? Pick something that isn't overwhelming, but something that stands out as you're sorting through the pieces. So for us, it was the color blue. And what that led to was little patches of puzzle that we then built on from there. There's the toy cars on the right-hand side, a little blue box in the lower right-hand corner, the big bingo game at the top, and then all the inflatable punch'ems or whatever. Punch-me's, sorry, the left-hand view. And then, well, what kind of happens is, as you're doing this, you start just subconsciously picking up and building other pieces. In particular, the speak and spell in the center of the puzzle was eye-catching and occupied a good chunk of the puzzle. So that got built, and then the odd-looking, perhaps even creepy monkey with the symbols. We found his little face early on, and it's a strange thing to come across. The lettering also draws your eye, so you start building words, and the green color, it wasn't a lot of that, so it was blue, green, the speak and spell, letters, and then it just becomes kind of fill in the blanks. You get to a point where you've built enough of the little images that the rest of the puzzle just starts falling together, it flows very quickly from there. Now, the title of this puzzle is I Had One of Those, and it's interesting to look back on some of these toys. And no, I am not a young person, but a lot of these predate me as well, though I recognize what they all are. They certainly were earlier than I would have had any of these toys. Though there's some, things on here that seem like they've gone forever. The little Viewmaster, those kicked around forever, and Speak and Spell was quite iconic. I think to this day, the voice is well known and copied in movies and TV shows. And then there's always the Rock'em Sock'em robots at the bottom, Though I never had one of my own, I certainly played with them and knew people that had them. Fun puzzle to build in that respect. So, since I've said the words fun puzzle to build, let's review the puzzle. And we're going to review the puzzle in 4 categories on a scale of 1 to 5. We're going to start with the puzzle material quality itself. How good is the paperboard? How well is the image bonded to it? Does it in any way detract from the build? And the answer is, it's a 3. It's right there in the middle. It didn't distract you in any way, and those are the puzzles I dislike, where you pick up every piece and you're like, blah. I can't stand this thing. This is definitely not that. This is right where it should be, though nothing exemplary either. This is, again, a 3, right in the middle of the road. The next category is the cut of the material, the puzzle cut quality itself, and there's a lot that goes into that as far as on the manufacturing side. How sharp was the die? You can get unlucky, and I have, where a brand name that I know and trust, and then you just run across one puzzle that it just seems like I don't know, 15% of the pieces are still stuck together coming out of the box. Well, this is none of those things. This is a Great White Mountain puzzle, and it is a cut quality of a 3. It does not detract from it in any way. The pieces fit snugly. They're all oddly shaped, which is kind of a calling card for this brand, and that's perfectly fine. But it's a 3. Next category is difficulty. So even with 3 people, this was a 2.5 hour build, so I have to give this a 2. It was pretty simple. The nature of a puzzle like this, a collage, is that most pieces, when you pick them up, you have an inkling of where they go. So to me, that already lowers the difficulty level, at least a notch. And the build time reflects that. Again, 3 people, 2.5 hours, but I'm still only going to give this a difficulty of 2. The final category, and the most subjective of all the categories, is frameability. If I was the type of person that built a puzzle only once, and after I put it together, sealed it and saved it forever, and put it somewhere on display, would this make the list? And the answer is no. I'm going to give this one a 2. It's definitely art, right? Oh, Mr. Charlie Gerard there. A lot of work. This is a skill set, certainly, that I don't possess, and I can appreciate that, but it's not something I would hang up in my house. I can't even think of, I don't know, a scenario where you would, unless perhaps you were a toy collector from 60s and the 70s, and you hung a poster of some kind like this over your toy collection. I'm really stretching here to come up with a reason why you would frame this. I'm going to keep it at a 2, just because I appreciate the amount of effort and that Charlie had to put into it to create this artwork. And overall, I'm going to give this puzzle a 3. I will definitely build it again, and that's, a tribute to White Mountain Puzzle, the quality of the puzzle. The difficulty being a 2 is no way a slight. There are certainly puzzles and days you want to build a puzzle that is not going to be taxing and feel like it's a chore to put it together. This does not fall into that category at all. So it's a 3 for me. It's something that I would loan out, knowing that the quality is good, and it's a pretty straightforward build. What else can I say about this? I have a number of White Mountain puzzles, and they seem to really enjoy and pride themselves on making non-traditional puzzle piece shapes, which is interesting, right? There's plenty of puzzles with monochrome sky or water or whatever, where when it comes down to the hunt and peck method at the end, you are just sorting pieces by their shape. And this puzzle, where Shadow appeared for a moment there, this brand of puzzles isn't like that. They are oddly shaped. They might have a single point of connection, or you certainly find pieces that you know where they go, and you only have tangential surfaces to position the piece. You can't actually affix it to anything. One of our little quirks when we're building puzzles, we always want to build connections, lines all the way across the puzzle. We all kind of celebrate when we have a complete connection all the way across in the horizontal and vertical position. And with this brand name, that's actually a little more difficult. The shape of the pieces doesn't lend itself to that, whereas a more traditional Milton Bradley, Big Ben, old school puzzle, they're very rectangular. That I feel like that type of thing happens more frequently. So again, just we'll call it a little quirk of this particular brand, but it's a good quirk. It does make them more interesting builds. It does, at the end of the puzzle, often make finding the right piece even easier, because they're such unique shapes. You're not looking at 40 pieces that all have the exact same shape or close enough that you can group them together. So good build, fun puzzles, good brand name. Alright. At the end here, you're going to see me put the little edge pieces in a plastic baggie. That's just to save somebody some time, including me, the next go around. And then all the pieces go in a big Ziploc bag, just in case you drop the box. You don't want to spill them and hunt for them forever. So trust me, plastic bags. I appreciate everyone out there that took 10 minutes out of their day to watch this video. If you like it, go ahead and click the subscribe button or maybe the like button. And I look forward to bringing you a lot more puzzle videos in the near future. I don't think I'll ever run out of them, which is frankly a wonderful thing. So thanks again, everyone. Bye bye.